Hey guys, this is Aegis, and that was a black spot. This is Wednesday, March 14th. Over here we have Flutter. He's going to be playing against Liquid Xenio. And this is a ZVZ. I'm trying to not repeat matchups until I get through all of them. So there's the spawn on Metalopolis, and I believe this is again a ladder map match from Korea, and the two overlords will share a friendly fist bump as they come across. Overlords are very pacifist creatures. They do not like fighting each other, as they cannot. Um, their wimpy limbs can't actually sustain any fighting, and they usually get shot down by queens and hydras. They just really don't think fighting is a good place for this world. But the Overlord will come in here to see what a Flutter is doing. And Flutter is going to come over here to see what Liquid Xenio is doing, and this is basically going to be a game where both players will probably take their natural expansion immediately, just because it's better that way. You'll see exactly what your opponent is doing, you know exactly what he's doing, and if he does something, you can counter it pretty easily, and the best counter for everything is to expand, at least in my mind. So we'll see how this game goes. This game has the potential to go actually quite long because both players have scouted each other early and will likely do the same thing. There's the hatches coming down for both players, so that's essentially the same thing. We'll see which player decides to go gas or pool first, and more and more drones popping out. We'll see how this game goes. There's the hatches about a third of the way complete, and there's the pool coming up for Xenio as well as his gas, and then pool, so he's going to be going for those speedlings first. Flutter going pool and then, I think that was pool and then gas. Actually, probably gas and then pool as well, or basically at the exact same time, but that's completely besides the point. Nothing really exciting going on in this game as of the moment. Both players making drones and more drones. There's the Overlord going to be floating away, making sure that it does not get killed off by any sort of queen. Both the natural expansions are just about to finish. Xenio is going to be mining a little bit of gas here. What'll tell us what he's doing is if he decides to keep his guys in gas for longer than is necessary to gather 100 gas. Looks like he will be keeping those drones. No, looks like he's going to be pulling them right off, mining only 4 extra gas. Flutter going to be mining only 100 gas as well. He's keeping one guy in gas. Looks like he will be starting the metabolic boost upgrade as well. Both players going to be getting that upgrade. Xenio will be a little bit faster here. He does have his Overlord floating over to the third base of his opponent, as does Flutter. He will not scout the hatch if it does go down. Xenio positioning his Overlord perfectly to deal with any sort of third base. Flutter throwing down a spine crawler, not too sure why he's doing that. Xenio doesn't have a, so actually no, he's getting a spine crawler of his own. I guess that's just in case of any massive Zergling aggression. I think one Zergling here checking out what Flutter is doing. Baneling Nest on the way for Flutter, so that a spine crawler will remain for Xenio. Xenio may even opt to throw down a second spine crawler in case he sees a bunch of Zerglings being produced. However, his opponent is basically making drones as of the moment. He does have that spine crawler moving up to the front, and I believe this will just be defensive banelings for Flutter. He's not actually making too many Zerglings. Xenio getting out a couple of Zerglings of his own. He's going to be poking across the map just to see what his opponent is doing, to see if there are mass Zerglings popping out. Couple of banelings being morphed back at home for Flutter just in case. Zerglings for Xenio do run on by to see exactly what's going on. Two queens are coming forward to try to guard those drones. Drones getting pulled off the line, and the two banelings are now complete. And 2 banelings versus as many Zerglings as you want. The banelings do win unless you micro very well. Spine Crawler coming up as well as the Roach Warren, so Xenio is going to be going the Roach route to deal with any sort of aggression. And this does put him in a better position for later in the game. Flutter over here has invested in these banelings and not been able to do too much with them. And Xenio will have those roaches, which are completely necessary for later on in the game. Xenio is also taking his third base. He has actually had to force a cancel on that because he placed it a little bit too far. And over here, the Overlord does not see the third base. Flutter taking another gas over here. Xenio not taking the gas of his own yet. He is upgrading the missile attacks for those roaches, so his roaches will be much better upgraded when the fight does come. Flutter throwing down a couple of spine crawlers. Looks like he sees something and decides that he doesn't need those spine crawlers. Actually, he moved his Overlord. He sees the expansion and he knows that he doesn't need those spine crawlers. In fact, he needs an expansion of his own. But I don't know if he actually has any units out on the map right now. He has 2 banelings, and those will not be in time for these Zerglings running in here to force a cancel on that hatch. If the cancel does go down, Flutter will be very far behind, as Xenio's hatch is just about to finish, as drone does go down as well. A couple of roaches out in the field. Zerglings do get pushed back, but the hatch was canceled, and that's all the damage that Xenio needed to do there without losing a single Zergling. Both sides are getting their lair up. Xenio will have his finishing up a little bit earlier. 2 queens over here, possibly to spread some creep as well to connect these 2 bases. The drones coming to mine over here as well. Lair is now finished for Xenio, and we'll see what he decides to do with that. We'll probably see an infestation pit, but little do I know about ZVZ, so we could see Hydras as well. We'll see if Xenio decides to do some kind of timing push. He's getting glial reconstitution right now. He's getting a couple of drones out to completely saturate this base over here, dropping a spine crawler as well. A couple of slow roaches coming across the field for Flutter. This could be a mistake, fighting near these spine crawlers as well as the much superior forces of Xenio back at home. Flutter is trying to do some damage here, which is the, I guess, the correct thing to try to do, because his third base is quite a ways delayed. Xenio does have this base up, and as we see here, the income is quite far advanced for Xenio. Forgot to put the name badge up for you guys. Sorry about that. Xenio now taking a almost 14 supply lead, 16 supply lead. Against his opponent. Actually, no, that's not 16. I'm just adding the last 2 numbers here. That's like 10 supply lead. Flutter finally saturating the space, as roaches did poke into the third base, running into these 2 spine crawlers. Do not want to go there any further. Xenio's speed is about to finish as well. We'll see if he decides to push up against this third base. Roach is coming forward for Flutter, and Xenio pushing back with a much superior force of roaches of his own. Hydra's on the way for Xenio. I missed the Hydra den going down, so it looks like as soon as the groove spines do finish, I think Xenio will be pushing against his opponent right now. He's also got the he has the groove spine missile attack level 2 finishing up soon as well. Pathogen glands finishing up for Flutter. He's only got the infestors started right now, so I think Xenio has a pretty big window here to actually do some damage. There are not enough roaches out in the field for Flutter right now, and Xenio with a 30 supply lead. And that's basically all in units, so he's going to be pushing real soon, and with those Hydras and the +2 attack, he's going to be able to take out these roaches very quickly, unless perfect fungals do land, and I don't know if those infestors will be... Actually, no, those infestors will be out on the field soon enough, but Xenio is almost max on Hydra Roach. And over here, Flutter is now supply blocked, and that's a horrible thing to be doing against a massive force like this, and I think Xenio has got this game in the bag. We'll see how this turns out. The infestors from the high ground doing a nice bit of fungal here, but it's not quite enough. The roaches and the hydras now advancing forward. The hydras with the range going to be busting in here. The infestors in a bit of a jumble here, all getting taken out.